Banafsheh is an Iranian American journalist. Did I say your name right? You say it again
Yes.
for me. Okay, good.
Banafsheh Zand.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the pronunciation correction. I know that you are. We have talked this week already about this issue. Bring people up to speed about what happened today at the UN and where things stand, because I feel like the public's mind. We were on Iran, and then we moved off to Minneapolis, and then now Venezuela, and then something else. So bring people back to where things stand today.
The bodies are piling up inside Iran. We are now, according to our estimates, it's somewhere around 25,000 people. The bodies are being piled up in giant piles in Tehran and around the country. The regime is asking $5,000 from each family to take the body of their loved ones, along with bullet fees. So, in other words, if they have their loved one has been shot, the number of bullets that are in their bodies is going to be the amount of money that the loved ones have to pay. So $250 per bullet, along with the $5,000 cadaver receipt
Ugh,
fee.
horrendous.
The violence and the cruelty is beyond anything any of us can explain. People are still out there, they're still protesting, but life is an absolute chaos. There's no food, there's no electricity, they've throttled the internet. And so today at the United Nations, the the beloved Iranian activist and journalist Ahmad Batebi, who was the icon of the 1999 student uprising at the Tehran University, whose photo was on the cover of The Economist in July of 1999, for which, and they put that photo up without his permission. When they put that photo up, the Khomeiniist regime went and hunted him down and basically imprisoned him and sentenced him to be executed. Of course, the international pressure and noise stopped them from doing it, but that doesn't mean that he didn't spend the next 10 years of his life. His entire 20s were in prison under torture and in the most horrific of conditions. In fact, he was in the same cell with my very own father.
Let's talk about that before you go any further. I should tell our viewers that your father in 2011 was murdered. Also, a journalist like yourself was murdered
Mhm.
by the regime in Iran, and tried to play it off that it was a suicide or something along those lines. But
That's right.
and witnesses have backed you up that that is not exactly what happened. Is that what shaped your desire to be a journalist and expose what's going on?
No, well, actually, I was in Iran. I was 18 years old in 1979, and I was there viewing the horror of the takeover of the Khomeiniist forces. And I saw the brutality. I fully expected it to be brutal because the entire thing was so quick and dirty. Started out in July of 1978, and by January of 1979, it had reached a fever pitch in which I can't even imagine. The Iranian people have been protesting against this regime for 47 years, and nothing has come of it. The international community paid no attention, where in 1979, it was all of a series of several ragtag protests that had been organized by various leftist organizations and Islamist organizations, and they won.
So President
So
Trump, just to say, well, I'll let you finish your thought there. But President Trump has said, when he was interviewed this week, they were going to be executions. Yesterday in the Oval Office, he said the executions are on pause; they've stopped. And yet, we've seen U.S. military ships move into the area. We've seen non-essential personnel be moved off of military bases there. What do you expect to be happening next?
I honestly do not know anymore. As you said, all of these things are happening, all these moves on the chessboard. Supposedly, the Saudis have now, who have been at odds with the Khomeiniist regime for decades, have now become all friendly and cozy with the Qataris.
Hmm.
And then the Qataris, who are the friends of the Khomeiniist regime, are conveying to the Trump administration that the Saudis don't want war. So I honestly can't tell anymore from one minute to the next, because Rubio also said that there wasn't going to be any military intervention. And, you know, for us, it's not a question of military intervention. It's not a question of boots on the ground in terms of, but what was hoped for when President Trump 11, 12 days ago said that if a hair on the head of a single protester is hurt, that there will be hell to pay. That to us basically sounded like the protesters will have people to protect them. Somehow, I don't know, guards
Mm-hmm.
on the grounds. I don't know, however odd and weird and silly that sounds, but something basically, and it never appeared. The you know, telling people to hang on and help is on the way. And
Yeah.
so your guess is as good as mine. I don't know, but I can tell you one thing, and that is that the people of Iran are absolutely exhausted, battered, bruised, and bleeding.
So I want to leave our viewers on you and I spoke this week on a little bit of a positive note. You had a lot of hope earlier this week that this was
Yeah.
different than the other uprisings that we've seen under different administrations and over the course of the last few decades, when
Hmm.
the people have taken to the streets and wanted a change in leadership there. But you tell me why you're hopeful that this could be the time that we finally see a change in Iran.
Well, look, I mean, I can tell you one thing: the Iranian people have conveyed for the nth time their lack of will to live with this regime any longer. They've endured for, you know, under circumstances that really very few people on this planet would have endured these last 47 years. We've shown our discontent and our need for a regime change. The international community, however, isn't stepping up, and it's taken them 47 years to figure out who these regime leaders are and what their mandate is and what their purpose and interests are in their activities on an international level. And frankly, we're still seeing the same indecisiveness, the same flakiness, and back and forth that we saw before 12 days ago. And to be honest with you, from one second to the next, I'm losing hope that we will be able to see a better day, because the Iranian people are fighting and they're getting slaughtered.
Yeah, are you
And
in
the
touch? Are
international
you able to get in touch? We talked about, the internet was out, cell phones were out, and then they were getting back in a little bit, and we heard some
very
reports.
spotty,
Have you been
very,
able to
very
talk to
spotty.
anyone who's there in the last couple of days?
Yes, I have, but it was very, very spotty. It's like 3 minutes talking and then cuts off, and then you call back and you say four sentences and then it cuts off again. It's, you know, it's a full on assault on every imaginable way on the Iranian people. They have no food, they have no electricity. It's in the middle of the winter, and Iran is can be a very, very cold place. It's like Colorado and Utah and so on. It's very snowy and very mountainous, and so in the middle of the cold, the winter, no electricity, no food, no water. People are their economic situation. I mean, it is just a nightmare there right now.
Well,
And
we
now
yeah.
even the people have been slaughtered and thrown on the sidewalks. So
Horrible, horrible. Listen, I really appreciate you giving us your insight. You
thank
know
you.
such firsthand and your personal connection and
Thank you,
knowledge to
Sharon.
what's going on. And I hope you'll come back again and keep us posted.
Yes,
And,
happy to.
we'll see what happens in the next few days, in the next few weeks. And let's hope the killing stops there.
Thank you, Sharon.
All right. Thank you for joining us.